Hello everybody and welcome back to the second channel. So a while ago I made a video kind of touring this little building that I made for this channel, right? It's a little Minecraft detective office and there's a lot of cute little details that I've added that I'm really proud of. And on that video, it's not very popular, but I did get a comment from Obascu Bat asking if I could make a tutorial. Now if I'm being honest, I can't really make a tutorial on this. It's not really like fully possible just because the way I made it, it's like a bunch of button clicks and it's not very interesting to watch. However, I can do a demo where I show you how I built all of this, plus I will show you guys a little bit of my other world that I've been working on and some of the detailing that I did in there, so you guys can get an idea of how to use this data pack for yourselves. Now this is a data pack. It's a very simple one to install. It's from the Vanilla Tweaks website. If you don't know, Vanilla Tweaks is run by Exumavoid, who is, I believe, the owner of Hermitcraft, and he kind of runs this little thing. There's a lot of cool stuff on here, especially the data packs resources. I have a bunch of them. Even my little heart cursor, that's from this pack. So we're using the armor statues. Now the armor statues is a very powerful thing. I'm not going to do an in-depth tutorial. There's plenty of information out there. I promise you can find it. They even have an installation process on this where you can find that. So it's really easy to get a hold of this data pack. And the best thing about data packs, it is not a mod. It's all vanilla, right? It's all completely vanilla. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's really a couple click installation and it makes, honestly, the game so much more fun. Now, I will do a little bit of a tutorial on the basics of it. I'm going to turn off my shaders so you guys can actually see better. So you're going to need a book and quill. You're going to type whatever literally you want in it, doesn't matter. And then type the word statues. That's statues with an S at the end, and then you'll get this booklet. And this booklet is the powerhouse of this mod pack. Or sorry, not even mod pack, this data pack. So if we place down an armor stand, you just create this from your creative menu, or if you're playing in survival, just simply get it from your, just make it. You can use this in survival, you just have some limitations that you can't do in creative. That you can only do in creative, I should say. The important thing is this check target. This book is based in proximity, so whichever armor stand you are standing nearest to, so if there's this one and this one, if you check target, it will highlight the one that you're going to be editing. Come over here, it's going to highlight that one, right? So going down the list, we have styles. This is your styles, basically the properties of the thing. So you can say, should it have a base plate? Removed, right? It has naturally that base plate, but we just removed it. Should it have arms? You can click yes, or if you want to get rid of it, you can click no. Use small stand. If you click yes, it'll make it into a little baby. It's important to note that the small armor stand does scale things down. So look, this head's like that. The podzol is that size. If we were to make it, click no to make it back into a big stand, obviously those things expand and get larger. So that's kind of important to note when you're using this, that you can do a lot of smaller details if you make it into a small armor stand. Applying gravity, always click no. Basically, these things are entities. If you have too many entities, your game will lag. And so by turning this off, turning gravity off, basically when it's doing gravity, it's checking every second, every tick or whatever the fart, to see if it should fall. If I were to check target, I'm editing this one, style, no gravity. As you might imagine, it's floating now, which is very helpful. Stand visible, that one's pretty self-explanatory. It makes the stand invisible, and that is a super duper helpful thing. Note that when it's invisible, you cannot break it. You must make it visible again by clicking yes on stand visible, and then you can break it. And then the last one that you can do in styles is display name. I literally never do this, and I don't even know how exactly you change that. I'm sure you could find some resources on it. I personally have not found a use for it, like I just haven't needed it. Moving on, we have, I am going to turn off gravity so I can show you this. Nudge, this is moving it. So there's certain things. This one's based on the world position, so like you can use on the y-axis. If we look at this, you see my little cursor there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but yellow is y, blue's something, red something. I don't remember which one's which, to be so honest, but as you can see, I clicked up on the y and it moves up. The z-axis, I click that and it moves to the left because this is the z-axis, or sorry, the x-axis. Important to note, this is done by pixels. So if I just lower this, you can kind of see it's dead center in that block, right? 2 pixels on each side. If I were to do this, move it to the right by 1, now you see it moved over 1 pixel. There's 3 pixels on this side. 1, 2, 3. Now there's only 1. If you move it over another one to the right, now it's over 1 more pixel. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this thing. I hope that makes sense. It's pixel based, right? Rotation, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Click the degree you want to rotate. So like I just clicked 45 degrees. That means I am now rotating by 45 degrees. If I clicked 1 degree, now I'm rotating by 1 degree. I'm gonna do 45 just so you guys can actually see it. So rotate it that direction. What would that be? Clockwise. Rotate it counterclockwise. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. You can do, I don't really know what this means. There's the third thing. I'm not a professional when it comes to this. I just dabble with it. The only way you can really learn, in my opinion, is just by doing it. So please go at it, try it. This is pointing, so you can say, I want this part, the head, to point down to where my head is or to where my feet are. So if I click feet, and we look at where my feet are, you can see it's pointing directly at my feet. If I were to then click head, you can see it's pointing directly at where my head is. Here, I can actually do that again. And you can see it's pointing directly at where my head is. That is very useful for positioning certain things. I'm going to give this armor stand arms, and we're gonna give it an item. For our next thing, we have presets. Presets are different poses, right? So attention, kind of like a soldier. Salute, sad. There's a lot of different presets. Hello, chicken. Hi. There's a lot of different presets. It's great for characters if you're doing that, especially if you use player heads to put it on that. There's a lot of dynamic ones that you can use that are really fun, especially if you put armor on it. Oh, maybe Chainmail, the one that you can see through, is probably not the best one, but it looks really good. You know, you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. So with that one, you obviously have the different poses you can do. There is one that I use the most out of all of this, and that is block an item. Item is going to hold it out like an item. So if I were to give him a 2D item, 2D items are so give and take, right? But you can see it's flat, it's holding it out directly. Just swap that, give him this. If I were to go presets, block, now it's going to hold it like that, right in front of it. And as you can see, it's actually lying flat on the ground, right? Flat on the ground. Oh, and you can scroll through pages, obviously, just like a book, and they're all in order. If we say stand visible, no, now we just have a block, which is very powerful, very, very useful. Pose adjustment, this is where you can get specifics. So this is his right arm, it's like that, and as you can see, it is kind of diagonally rotated, which is why I use this preset to get it exactly flat. It's very useful for that. But say you want it rotated in a certain direction. This one, once again, you're gonna have to figure out. You're just gonna have to mess around with it. It's finicky and it is weird, like the Y moves it that way because it's around the Y axis. The X moves it that way. It's really weird, but once you start messing around with it, it makes sense. And you can do some, once again, very powerful things with that. Auto align, block on surface. This is kind of similar to that pose, but it puts it right on the surface and it looks really great. Hey, my book. Give me that. There we go. Item flat on surface. So if I were to grab a ladder, give it to that, and say, hey, item on surface will be like that. Item flat on surface. So the thing you do have to note is that when you do that pose, when you do another preset pose, it may lower it into the ground in a weird way. But here we are. Look at it. It's basically flat on the ground. You can lower it and you can adjust anything anytime too. So it's important to note that. This is very, very, very important one. Give him arms. We have a player head, right? We can swap main hand and offhand. Oh wait, here, we'll do that first. So it's in his right hand. That's his main hand, just like a player would have. Swap that. Now it's in its left hand. Main hand and head is actually a very powerful one. So you can swap that. So now he's holding the zombie head. And if I were to give him that block, we can actually put the grass block on his head. And you can do a lot of stuff with this because it makes the block bigger, it makes certain things larger, or it makes mob heads smaller, which is good for custom heads. Mirror flip, you can mirror the arms and their positions, which can be very useful, the legs as well, and you can also flip them. Copy, this one's very important. Copy. We copy this one, it'll highlight which one you copied, and if we go over here, we can say paste. And boom, it's copied that attribute to here. I don't believe it does certain things, like, I don't think it does invisible, and I don't think it does no gravity, and there's certain small things like that, but it'll do the pose, which is the main hard part, in my opinion, so I think that's important to note. Lock and seal, these are your goodies, right? Okay, so say I have a very complex shape. I have a bunch of arm stands, and to maneuver around each one, especially when they're doing something like this, where they're overlapping, right? There's 2 cookies and an iron plate and that, and then eventually this, and 3 stacks of paper. Those are all things that are very much overlapping, and it can be impossible to determine one. So what I recommend you do is do one after another, right? So I say, I like where this is moved. I can say lock. It highlights it. Now this one is locked. You can still break it because it's not invisible, but when it is locked or sealed, you can no longer nudge it, right? Check target, it doesn't function as check target, you can't interact with it anymore, meaning that I can do this one, and even though I'm technically closer to this armor stand when I check target, I'm doing that one, and I can of course interact with that one behind this armor stand. I hope that makes sense. Very useful. Once I'm happy with this position, if you're making a complex shape, you would then lock that one, and the lock mechanic works proximity based as well, so keep that in mind. Seal works the same. I believe sealing is only available in creative mode and does the same in addition to make it invulnerable. And I believe that's not from your punches, but from like if it were to be blown up or something like that, from my understanding. I might be wrong about that, so don't hold me to that. If we take, the last one is just item frames, which you can do a lot of cool stuff with. So we're just gonna place this and say, I want it to not have that armor or that item frame thing. You can say invisible item frame. Boom. And now it's invisible. Wow. Very, very helpful. All vanilla stuff. And you can still break it. I don't know if you heard that sound, but that was me breaking it. So that's a mini tutorial, rough and dirty, quick and dirty tutorial of it. It's nothing crazy great, but excuse me, sorry. It'll kind of help you get an idea of it. Oh, okay. Well, I copy pasted that one over so we could see it, but it's fine. We'll just use this one, the main one. As you can see, this is an interior only. It's super fugly on the outside, but I only needed the interior shot, so it doesn't matter. So let's just go around the room. So this one is very simple. It's actually just an armor stand with a helmet on. If you look at here, this one I didn't even make invisible. It's literally just an armor stand poking its head out, but it looks like a little cushion. This one is very simple too. It's a beacon that kind of looks like, to me, a cup of milk. I believe this one is holding it as a small armor stand, right? So I just had it hold it, made it flat block, lying on the surface, and then just raise it up. That's simple. This item frame, or sorry, this pressure plate kind of looked like a plate, and so I put that there. And then having a armor stand hold cookies, I just layered them on top of each other by slowly shifting them. This one, you can see they are rotated. I just rotated the body. Really simple. And basically, what I kind of want you to take away from this, right? It seems simple. It is very time consuming, very tedious. That's why I'm not doing a tutorial of it. I'm just explaining how I did it. But it is very important to note that it is a trial and error process, and the way you get it to look good is just by tweaking it over and over again. Say, maybe if I moved it 1 pixel over to the right. Try that. Didn't work. That's okay. Move it back. It's not a big deal. I will show you how to use these custom player heads though. There's a couple ways. I have the vanilla tweaks. So if you're in survival, this is a very great way to do it, because you don't have access to command blocks. So mini block, basically you put stuff in a stone cutter and it gives you certain blocks. You basically put it in a stone cutter and it makes a tiny version of it. Actually, I think I have this one installed. Let me see. I have no clue if I do or not. I do not. Oh no, I do. Mini dirt. It just doesn't have one for stone. I thought it did. So yeah, mini block of dirt. It's really helpful, especially for survival builds and obviously for creative. So you don't have to like find an ID of all of these blocks, but you also have more mob heads that when you kill a mob, it has a chance to drop its head, which that one's very fun just in survival in general, but it's great paired with the armor stands. You've probably seen Hermitcraft users use the cod head as a player head because it looks just like a big-eyed player. It's really cute. And then this one's probably the most powerful one, player head drops. Basically, if you were killed by another player, you drop your head. And this also applies to if you kill yourself. So if you shoot an arrow up into the air and it lands on you, you will drop your mob head. And this is obviously great because you can put any skin on you want. So I have my Detective skin on right now. It would drop this head, right? And it's great. So that's that. But if you want to get even more detailed, look up custom mob heads and you will go to this minecraftheads.com. This is a great website. I love it so much. So we can say I want this McChicken. Click that. It is a pretty beefy website. It does kind of clunk along in my experience, but give code, just click copy and it'll say copied. Then going back to our game, we can go to our chat /give at, I'm just gonna do S for myself, Minecraft. Actually, if you just type command, it'll show up, press tab, and it will give you the command block, which I already had in my inventory. So if we grab a lever, I'm just gonna do it outside so we can paste the command in, done. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, then in that case, do this. Oh, weird. Very weird. I've done this multiple times before. I don't exactly know what's going on. Let me try. Maybe it might just be the code for that one's messed up. Oh, yeah, see, this one works. Weird. Apparently they don't want me to have McChicken, but yeah. So you can do that in the command block, and now you have a custom player head. This is a cute little monitor. By the way, I do have a mod pack on. As you can see, I do have like Axiom. You don't need any mods for this armor stand thing, which I love. I think it's great. But I do have the 3D skin thing on. So basically, sorry if y'all hear my dog. He's having a little nightmare. Oh, the poor baby. Are you okay? I feel bad, poor little guy. You do have the 3D elements on my skin. It's kind of hard to see, but normally they would just be like a 2D sprite. It's very nice, which I think that really helps mob heads look a lot better in my opinion. Going back to this though, well, the paper is literally different. So these are just normal papers on being held by a normal armor stand. Place block, so it's flat on the ground and then lifted up. This one is a tiny armor stand, so baby armor stand, small armor stand, still holding it, just raised up as well. So then this corkboard, which is one of my favorite things I've ever done, I'm not gonna lie. If we kind of phase into the wall, you can see these are literally buttons. These are red buttons, kind of to resemble certain, like a red string corkboard. They're kind of weird shaped, right? So they're kind of like this. They're kind of elongated, so using that, you can kind of make them like peg-like. For whatever reason, they're very square, and I don't know why, because these are more rectangular. I think it might just be when the armor stand has it on. It turns into like a weird little square type thing, which is odd, but you know, that's kind of the quirks with armor stands. They're not perfect, but this is really cool. I think I put a sign here that says murder, I don't know, and then I just stuck the little pin in there. Once again, literally just a armor stand holding it, painting, made it flat on the wall, you know, had a armor stand hold it, made it flat on the wall, and then put the pin in it, and it looks like it's holding up a picture. And this one's probably my favorite. I tried to make like a Ziploc baggie that was holding like crime scene hair evidence. So obviously it's the same thing as these two, pin in the wall, but with a glass pane and a string behind it, right? So I think that looks awesome. Going to here, this is actually a Minecraft player head on a small armor stand, and this is kind of one of the ways that I think you need to look at doing armor stands. As you can see, it is visible, right? And so you can't see it from here because it's actually, let me go over to this scrap one so I don't destroy my actual build. But you can see its body is folded up. That's using the position, the body position. Because it's small and because it's folded up, you can't see it from underneath. but when it's like this, you can still see its like kind of neck and shoulders, and that looks like a globe stand, right? In an actual globe stand, usually it goes through the middle and there's like the ring around it, but you can get the job done just via this, right? You don't have to do too much, right? Just work with the resources that you have and try to make it the most effective function you can based off of just what resources you have. You have to remember that this is Minecraft in the end of the day, and people kind of will get the idea, even if it's kind of blocky and not perfect. Like, you don't have to have something hyper realistic. These are just items laying flat, but obviously I think they add a lot of character. It's like, oh, this detective, they were drinking the bottle of water and writing a book. This is a just trash can player head. That one's just literally placed. Oh no, this one actually is a mob head on an armor stand. You can see because I'm walking through it, but it's rotated slightly, which stuff like that, rotating things slightly is another pro tip that I can give, because it's just a great way to add detail. Flat on surface. This one's angled, so I had the armor stand hold it and then I tilted it upward and it gave us that. This is a really cute thing. It is a pot. I believe it's on the head of a baby armor stand, because 3-dimensional blocks, you can put them on the head of it and it'll be 3-dimensional, which is fantastic. And then I just put a leaf block over it and a mini chain in front of it. And I do have a 3D chain mod in, so that's that. That's why it's 3-dimensional. But from here, it looks like a little potted plant, and it's so freaking cute. Up here, I love these. I had them in a couple of my builds. It's basically a tilted, just painting. Put it in the armor stand's hand, tilt it backwards a little, and then I just put a stick tilted in a certain direction and just shoved it up against it, and it looks like a little framed photo on a shelf. It's so cute. You know, it's all about creativity, using the items that you have at your disposal and seeing how you can, you know, adjust them and make them into yours. Obviously, these are just vanilla. This one is a tiny potted plant, just like this one, or tiny pot, sorry. So pot on the small armor stand, raised up, and then this is actually a 2D sprite, right? It's a cherry blossom thing in a just being held up by an armor stand, and that's raised up, and I shoved it into this so it looks like it's in it. And I think this adds a lot more detail than just a flower pot, although you would get the 3D model of the flower pot. I like the shape of this pot, and so you can get certain things from this. In fact, you might even be able to layer a pot over a flower pot. I've never tried that before, but it might be possible. This is very important. This is a armor stand holding a lantern. I have a 3D lantern resource pack installed, not a mod. So as you can see, it's really funky without it. And it's just a 2D sprite, so it's not gonna look good. It's also not gonna light up because it is just being held by a armor stand. So that's kind of important to note. But if we boot this up again, we can see that it looks great. It looks great. You can download that for free. It's literally, if you just look up 3D lantern, that's how I found it. And I really do like this mod because it makes it look like you're holding it in third person. I don't know. I really like it. I think there's also better ones out there that like can actually make you hold it and whatnot, but it's whatever. I like it. Grandfather clock, this is just an invisible armor frame with a bell. Up here, we also, here, we'll do the bear rug first. So this is a bear head, right? Great trick for survival building. You don't even have to use the armor stand trick. You can literally just do this flat rug with the bear head and it looks like a bear rug. It's great. You can do it, especially if you have like the mob chance head drop thing. Especially if you have the mob head drop data pack on, you can do it with like a polar bear. Looks really good. But I love this one because you can kind of shift it a couple pixels back, right? So this is like what, 2 pixels back into the carpet, and it just makes it look a lot better. It looks like it's like part of the rug more, and I've actually taken that head, flipped it upside down, made it miniature via the small stand, and tilted the head so it looks like a tail, and I love that detail, and I think it looks so good. Looking above us, this is a lantern block player head. It's pretty simple, but something interesting that I have done with that is if I hold this, oh, I actually did not do it here. I lied. I did it for this lantern though. I put a light block here, so because this doesn't actually emanate any light, I put a light block at a low power so that it looks like it's emanating light. This one's actually really cool. This one's really cool. This little curtain rack is actually shields. It's shields being held up by armor stands, and this is actually an armor stand being crunched up. It's kind of hard to see, but its body, is being crunched up inside it. You can actually bend the legs to where they bend into it, which I think looks great. And then basically it's just a bunch of armor stands holding shields, and it looks like a nice little curtain rack, and I think that looks great. Personally, I love it. A lot of small details that I genuinely just fiddled around with until they looked right. There's no good way, correct way to do it. It's literally just experimentation. Now I'm gonna bring you to my massive world, giant tree. We've done a lot of cool stuff here and that I want to show off to you guys because I think it's cool. I think it can inspire some more details. So here's a polar bear version of that rug. Once again, I love it. I think it looks so good. I think this one's skinnier just because there's less space. Using that armor stand thing for couch cushions, some papers. Here's a little cutting board. It's the same kind of trapdoor, or sorry, same pressure plate thing, but I put a carrot and a mini sword to make it look like a knife. Debug to make this always lit. Going upstairs, ignore how empty this place is. I really need to extend it, but book there. I love this. Adding a mini cobweb. Debug once again to make this constantly open. And I have this one open with an empty bottle, as if this was just kind of like, as if this was maybe some storage, right? And something has fallen out of it because the thing was left open, the barrel was left open. And I kind of want to emphasize that because that level of detail, you want subtle details that add to the kind of the story of your world, right? So here's some mob heads that I use for like little boulders and rocks around town. Cute little swing. That's not armor stand related, but I think it's really cute. Love this one. This entire shelf, I'm walking through it, dog. It's all armor stands, and it looks great. It looks so good. It looks so good. Hey guys, editing me here. I just wanted to pop in and give you a pro tip that if you want to make things that are against the wall, if the armor stand is in the wall, it'll actually go dark and in turn make the item it's holding dark. So what you can do is you can actually have it holding the item out in front of it and place it in front of the wall. So it's not inside the wall, it's actually like, in this case, the armor stands are actually like on that iron bar, and those are holding up the slabs. That lets it be in the open, so it's not in the wall and therefore not being dark. That just avoids that little problem. So a little pro tip. Once again, the picture the picture framed thing, little potted plant, custom mob head or player head. I love this one. Home is where the heart is. Live, laugh, love, lasagna. It's so cute. Little cookbook, look at it. That's a little thing on it. Honey jar. Those are just mob heads. Bread with a villager nose for some reason. This is invisible armor stands with little andesite slabs to make it look like candles. I love this one. I think the armor stands that I've done on here are great. This is, once again, these are not real, and you can rotate them to have... I basically use these lanterns to make little string lights, which... with shaders, it looks fantastic because they glow. They don't actually emit like light that would affect mob spawning, but they glow and they look so pretty. So that's a gorgeous thing. And as you can see, they're kind of all slightly different rotations to make it kind of, once again, add that level of realism, right? Things aren't perfect in real life. They're not gonna be here. I have this mixing bowl. It's a pressure plate with a composter as a bowl with an egg to kind of resemble like, oh look, they're making stuff, there's sand in it, a block of sand, plus a shovel to be like a little spoon. I think that's so cute. I want to show you the buggies I made. So obviously I have a big ash tree that I built, as you can see. I love this thing. I think it looks so cool. Big ass lanterns hanging from it that emit light, falling leaves, big fireflies. It looks so fun to me. But one of my favorite details are my glowy bugs, completely made from armor stands. These guys are actually the cutest thing I think I've ever seen. I think these guys are probably the cutest darn thing I've ever seen. So happy with them, and using mods you can actually duplicate it. I think I used Lightmatica to duplicate these. They're just so cute. I love it. I love these so much. I love them so much. They are a glow shroom body with a, I think, like concrete or wool head. Button eyes, little warp fungus antennae with little candle legs. I think they're so freaking cute. They're a great way to add light to your build. And I just kind of sprinkle them around because they're freaking adorable and I love them. This is one of my favorite implementations in the world that I have. So this one is using a tripwire hook stand. This is something that you can do with the mod, with the data pack, which is really neat. You can put things on tripwire hooks. Careful with that because it can get messy and they can be very difficult to remove. Clothing racks. So here you can see that the legs are bent up inside it, so it looks like just a coat rack, which I love. I think that's great, and it looks so good. It looks so good. Cash register, coin purse laying down, so a little bundle with sunflowers as coins dashed around. Love that. Tell me you don't love that. You'd be lying. Once again with pants, so the head this time is shoved down in between. You can actually see it right there. But I think it looks great. This is all armor stand stuff, so I have some invisible ones with boots, so that, hey, there's some boots here, and some backpack player heads holding different items out, tilting it so it looks like it's kind of slipping off the shelf. More player heads, some items, like 3-dimensional items. So here's a little picnic area that I have. As you can see, there's like a little apple here. Once again, little details. It's all about little details. And these guys, the market stands, have to be my favorite. Fish stand, handing a fish to the person. This vendor is putting the fish into the bundle, into the little pack that this person will be taking home in their little picnic basket. And I love, like, they're pointing, being like, hey, I want this one, and I have some ice in it. It's so cute. It's so cute. This is the first time that I had started using the armor stands to act as kind of like lively actual humans, players, and it adds so much to the world. So here's a composter. I actually filled it up a couple layers and then put a bunch of apples, so it looks really good. I love that. There's a potato one as well here. And then here they are, he's given the coin to the person. There's a potato sitting on the counter, the cash register, and then they're putting the potatoes into the bundle. Here we have a flower shop, and I love this one. I love this one. These are custom player head pots, so you can put them into things. I think there's a actual flower pot in here with the little thing, and so I did that multiple times to kind of give it more detail. Obviously pot. This one's just vanilla, just normal, no editing there. Player head hanging from a chain with the 3-dimensional chain, and this guy's like putting the flowers up. Oh, it's so cute. And as you can see, they all wear their own armor. I think this is adorable, and it's just a great example of how you can use these armor stands to really liven up your world. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope this kind of gave you some inspiration and helped you guys kind of understand I hope that this gave you some inspiration on how you can use these armor stands. Once again, this is a data pack, completely vanilla. Just experiment with it, have fun. They're super awesome. You don't need any mods to use it, and I think that you guys will really, really like it if you give it a shot. This is my second channel. I basically post on it just infrequently whenever I have just a little bit of inspiration that I want to make a silly video that wouldn't be commentary related, because commentary videos, high effort videos, go on my main channel, which you can find on screen or then the link in the description. Please go check that out. I have great videos over there. I'm very proud of them. My favorite one that you should watch that I would recommend is my season 1 analysis of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Season 2 is on its way. That main channel is a whole lot of fun. I hope you guys check it out, and I hope you subscribe to both of these so you guys can get more. I love making videos, and I hope that you guys can join me on this little journey. But with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Subscribe to my main channel. And as always, guys, I hope this video was able to make your day that little bit better. Bye, guys!